Hold on to your seats, Britain, because the political earthquake you've been waiting for just hit. 1 minute ago, renowned historian David Starkey unleashed a bombshell that could obliterate Keir Starmer's Labour government and crown Nigel Farage's Reform UK as the true voice of the people. This is no ordinary scandal, it's a seismic shift that exposes the rotting core of the establishment and ignites a fire under British pride. Is this the moment Labour crumbles and Reform takes control? You won't see this on the BBC, so stick with us as we rip the lid off this betrayal. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's dive into the chaos. Brace yourselves, Britain, because the establishment just got a wake-up call it'll never forget. 1 minute ago, historian David Starkey, the man who speaks truth to power, dropped a bombshell that's tearing through Westminster like wildfire. In a jaw-dropping interview, he declared, "Labour's reign is over. Reform UK isn't just winning elections, it's rewriting the soul of Britain." This isn't hyperbole, folks. It's a revolution. And it's happening right now in towns you've been told to forget. From Runcorn to Clacton, the British people are rising, and Nigel Farage's Reform UK is their battle cry. Is this the moment Keir Starmer's House of Cards collapses? You won't hear this on Sky News, so stick with us and let's unpack the chaos. Let's zoom in on Runcorn and Helsby, a gritty Labour fortress in Cheshire that's been red for 4 decades. Last July, Starmer's party swaggered in with a 15,000-vote majority, thinking they owned the place. Fast forward to a by-election last week, and boom, Reform UK's Sarah Pochin snatched the seat by a heart-stopping 6 votes. 6. The first past-the-post system, designed to crush outsiders, just handed Reform their 5th MP in Parliament. This wasn't a fluke. In the 2025 local elections, Reform stormed to 677 council seats. 41% of those contested across 23 English councils from Greater Lincolnshire to Thurrock. That's a projected 30% national vote share, outpacing UKIP's wildest dreams in 2013. They didn't just win seats, they seized control of 10 local authorities and bagged mayoralties in Hull and East Yorkshire. This is Brexit Britain roaring back, and it's glorious. What's fueling this fire? Starkey nails it. The British people are sick of Labour's globalist betrayal. In Hartlepool, where factories rusted and jobs vanished, Reform's message of frozen immigration, lower taxes, and cheap energy is like oxygen to a suffocating nation. In Clacton, where Farage himself holds court, voters gave Reform a 70% vote share in local wards. These are the forgotten corners of Britain, 95% white, 100% proud, where the 2016 Brexit vote wasn't just a ballot, but a vow. Starkey's warning is crystal clear. The elite have mocked our history, our flag, our values. Reform UK is the people's vengeance. And the numbers back him up. Polls show Reform at 33% in Leave voting areas, neck and neck with the Tories, who are crumbling at 23%. Farage told a roaring crowd in Dover, "We're not just the opposition, we're the future." This isn't a protest, it's a reckoning. Reform's manifesto stopping small boats, scrapping net zero madness, restoring British prides resonating in every pub, every high street, every home struggling with bills. Starkey's bombshell isn't just about one election. It's a call to arms for a Britain that's been silenced too long. Will Labour wake up, or will they be buried by 2029? Drop your thoughts below. Does Reform speak for you? Smash that like button, and let's keep exposing the truth. Now, let's shine a spotlight on the real culprits. Keir Starmer and his crumbling Labour Party. Britain, you've been betrayed, and the stench of their failures is impossible to ignore. Starmer swept into number 10 last July with a 174-seat majority, waving promises of change and a green revolution. But what's he delivered? A scandal-soaked disaster that's got the nation seething. From budget blunders to immigration chaos, Labour's imploding faster than a soap opera villain, and David Starkey's bombshell has ripped the mask off their deceit. Is this the end of Labour as we know it? You won't catch this on Channel 4, so buckle up as we expose the rot. Let's start with the money. Rachel Reeves, Starmer's Chancellor, tried to hide a £15 billion hole in the budget, but the truth leaked like a sieve. Her fix? Hammering farmers with inheritance tax hikes, gutting pensioners' winter fuel payments, and floating welfare cuts that made even Labour's socialist diehards cry, "Traitor." The Daily Telegraph called it a fiscal fiasco, and they're not wrong. Businesses are fleeing and families are drowning in bills. In Doncaster, Labour's vote share tanked 11 points in the locals, with voters screaming about soaring costs. And Starmer? He's too busy sipping lattes with EU bureaucrats to care. His EU reset deal is a Brexit betrayal, cozying up to Brussels while pretending it's about trade. Reform UK's manifesto calls it what it is, a surrender of British sovereignty. The people aren't fooled. Then there's the immigration catastrophe. Starmer pledged to smash the gangs behind the small boats, but the channels are free for all. In 2023, record migrant crossings humiliated his tough talk, and 2025's numbers are climbing. Dover's residents, living the crisis daily, ditched Labour for Reform, who promise a total immigration freeze. Nigel Farage thundered in Clacton, Labour's open borders are a slap in the face to every Briton. And he's right. Voters in Brexit strongholds like Boston and Skegness, where 75% backed Leave, are flocking to Reform's call for stronger borders. Labour's response? Silence or excuses, while the elite cheer multiculturalism that's fracturing communities. Don't get me started on net zero. Labour's green dogma has jacked up energy bills to some of the highest in Europe, £2,000 a year for the average household. Meanwhile, Reform's plan to scrap net zero targets and drill North Sea oil could slash costs overnight. In Hartlepool, where factories once thrived, voters are begging for affordable energy, not Starmer's windmill fantasies. Even the Liberal Observer admitted Labour's green pivot risks alienating the working class. Starkey summed it up. Labour's ashamed of Britain's grit, its history, its people. They worship globalism over the common man. This isn't governance, it's a circus. In North Tyneside, Labour's vote plummeted 23 points as Reform surged. From Newport to Redcar, the red walls in ruins, and Starmer's woke obsession pandering to identity politics over British pride, the final nail. Want to know who's winning? Reform's Stuart Keat dodged eggs to win a council seat in Trevethin, Wales Labour's heartland. The elite are terrified, and they should be. Drop a comment. Has Labour betrayed you? Hit that like button and let's keep the truth alive. Britain, the sleeping giant has awoken, and the roar of the people is deafening. From X to the streets, the nation's fury at Keir Starmer's Labour betrayal is erupting like never before, and Reform UK is fanning the flames. David Starkey's bombshell has lit a fuse, exposing Labour's elitist scams and rallying the forgotten voices of Brexit Britain. Social media's ablaze, town halls are buzzing, and even global conservative titans are cheering Reform's charge. Is this the spark that topples Starmer's shaky throne? The mainstream media's hiding it, but we're ripping the curtain down. Stay with us and feel the pulse of the revolution. Hop onto X, and it's a battlefield. Users are shredding Starmer, branding him a globalist puppet and a Brexit betrayer who's torched British pride. One post screamed, Labour's net zero lunacy is bleeding us. Dry Reform's the only party fighting for cheap energy. Another raged, Starmer's open borders are a disgrace. Farage gets us. These aren't just tweets. They're the heartbeat of a nation fed up with being ignored. In Clacton, where Nigel Farage reigns, X-posts show locals chanting, "Take back control," a nod to Brexit's glory days. A YouGov poll backs it up. 62% of Leave voters now back Reform in key wards. With Labour's support in freefall, down 20 points in Redcar since July 2024. The people aren't whispering, they're shouting. It's not just online. In Grantham, Lincolnshire, Reform's mayoral hopeful Andrea Jenkinsa Tory defector turned populist hero clinched victory with a fiery pledge: no more soft-touch Britain, migrants in tents, not hotels. Her speech electrified the crowd with chants of British jobs, British values echoing through the streets. In post-industrial Hartlepool, where Labour's neglect left scars, Reform's promise of lower taxes and stronger borders is a lifeline. A Financial Times report nailed it. Reform's vote surges in Britain's least mobile towns. 28 of the bottom 30 backed Leave in 2016. These are the Brexit heartlands, from Boston to Thurrock, where 95% identify as British first, and they're done with Labour's woke lectures. Even across the pond, conservative giants are taking notice. Picture J.D. Vance, Trump's right-hand man, tweeting, "Nigel Farage is Britain's Trump smashing the elite and waking the people." Sure, that's speculative, but it's no stretch. Farage's bromance with Trump's MAGA movement is inspiring a global populist wave. From Italy's Giorgia Meloni to Germany's AfD, the fight against globalism is spreading, and Reform's at the forefront. In Newark, where factories closed and Labour forgot, Reform's council wins up 15 seats in 2025, prove the people want action, not promises. Starkey's voice cuts through. The British spirit is alive, and Reform is its champion. This is bigger than one party, it's a cultural uprising. In South Wales' Trefethin, Reform's Stuart Keat braved egg-throwing Labour loyalists to win a council seat. A first for Wales. That's the spirit of Brexit, of 2016, of a Britain that says no to multiculturalism, that divides, and yes to unity, pride, and strength. Comment below, are you with Reform's fight? Smash that like button and share this truth the BBC won't. The people's voice is unstoppable, and Labour's days are numbered. Britain, the storm is here, and David Starkey's bombshell has set the stage for a showdown that could reshape our nation. Reform UK's meteoric rise is shaking the foundations of Westminster, while Keir Starmer's Labour teeters on the edge of oblivion. This isn't just about one election, it's about the soul of Britain, the promise of Brexit, and a fight to reclaim our pride from the globalist elite. Will Reform UK seize the future, or will Labour's betrayal drag us back to Brussels? The BBC's too scared to show you this, so strap in as we unveil what's coming next. Let's peer into the crystal ball. Starkey's warning is a klaxon. Labour's woke, EU-loving agenda is a ticking time bomb. Starmer's so-called EU reset deal is a stealth surrender, dressed up as trade talks, but reeking of Brexit betrayal. In Dover, where small boats flood the shores, voters are spitting fire. Reform UK's pledge to freeze immigration and stop the boats is polling at 65% approval in Brexit strongholds. Nigel Farage, eyes blazing, told a Clacton rally, by 2029, we'll be the opposition or more. He's not dreaming. Polls project Reform could snag 180 seats in the next general election, eclipsing the Tories, who've slumped to 22% in local votes. Kemi Badenoch's Conservatives are a fading echo, while Reform's 31% vote share in 2025, locals screams momentum. The establishment's cracking, and Farage is wielding the hammer. But this is bigger than Westminster. It's about British identity or culture, our values, our right to say no to policies that bankrupt and divide us. Labour's net zero obsession is a £2,000 a year burden on households, while Reform's plan to revive North Sea oil could cut bills by half. In Hartlepool, where energy costs choke families, Reform's council gains 12 seats. In 2025, show voters want pragmatism, not green pipe dreams. Immigration's the other flashpoint. Starmer's failure to curb channel crossings, 45,000 in 2023, climbing in 2025, has fueled rage in towns like Boston, where 75% voted Leave. Reform's zero-tolerance stance is a beacon for those demanding British jobs and borders first. Starkey thundered, "Labour's ashamed of our flag, Reform's raising it high. The global stage is watching." Imagine Trump declaring, "Farage is Britain's last hope against the globalist swamp." It's speculative, but the MAGA Reform Alliance is real, echoing populist surges from Italy to Hungary. By 2029, Reform could lead a coalition that restores law and order, fixes the NHS, and slashes government waste their manifesto's core. In Thurrock, where Labour lost 10 points, Reform's promise of British pride, not division, is a rallying cry. The Financial Times noted Reform's strength in low-mobility towns, 27 of 30 backed Brexit. This is the Britain Labour forgot, and it's fighting back. The clock's ticking. Starmer's elite bubble can't survive the populist wave. From Redcar to Runcorn, the people are done with multiculturalism that fractures, net zero that impoverishes, and leaders who bow to Brussels. Reform's vision, a proud, sovereign Britain, isn't just a dream, it's a demand. Comment below. Is 2029 Reform's year? Smash that like button and share this truth. The elite can't silence us. The future's ours, and Labour's days are numbered. Britain, the truth has been unleashed, and it's shaking the foundations of Westminster. David Starkey's bombshell has exposed Labour's betrayal and lit a fire under Reform UK's revolution. Keir Starmer's government is teetering, and Nigel Farage is ready to lead the charge for British pride, strong borders, and affordable energy. This is your country, your voice, your future. Don't let the elite silence you. Should Starmer resign? Is Reform UK Britain's only hope? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more explosive exposés. Our next video will blow your mind. Trust us, you won't want to miss it. Until then, stay proud, stay loud, and let's take back control.